and then to dive into some college basketball, some March Madness. Hopefully, all that goes smoothly for everyone involved.
Yes, we hope.
Very excited to see what's going to transpire this weekend for these teams. Very, very exciting. One of the things that hasn't been so exciting has been for the NBA, though. They've been having some challenges with pandemic. You mentioned it earlier, Ed. Pistons and Nuggets, one of the most recent games that was postponed for health and safety protocol reasons. So we're seeing now that the NBA, they're coming down a little bit harder and enforcing and straining their health and safety protocols. One of those is they're changing the type of mask that are going to be utilized during the games, and they will be mandatory, and making the use of the mask mandatory. If not, the players will be penalized. They weren't being that wasn't happening before. Now it is. So I applaud the NBA for stepping up and enforcing and straining these protocols. However, in my opinion, if you're already trying to, or you're enforcing them, or you already have these safety protocols and measures in place, for instance, the mask, why are you not already penalizing your players and making it mandatory for them to wear the mask, and you're just only doing it now? That's the question that I have.
That's a good question. Yeah, now they're requiring next week that the players and all the staff members wear the KN95 or the KN94 masks, and now they're going to strictly enforce more rules. They're going to start tightening this thing up as far as masks are concerned, because as we talked about earlier, the Denver Nuggets and Detroit Pistons game was the 23rd game they had to postpone this season. Adam Silver and the NBA they're at the point of no return. They're just like, okay, these games continue to get postponed. We've got to crack down even more on these players and all these staff members for these basketball teams in order to combat these games that are being postponed. And they rescheduled one of the games that was postponed. It was the Portland Trail Blazers and the Washington Wizards. They finally rescheduled that game, so they're now in the process, Joanna, of rescheduling these games, of these 23 games that have been rescheduled. So they're just trying to right this ship as much as possible. And what better way to do that than having these players required to wear an even tougher mask, these KN95 masks, and just enforce it more, like you said, or they will be penalized. I'm sure they'll either get fined or they'll get suspended for some games, whatever the penalty will be if they don't abide by these rules. Right.
So I wish that this would have been something that they would have done sooner as far as the penalization, because that would have only spoke volumes that they're really, not that they're not taking seriously, but even more, seriously. Because, we've seen it in football and in the NFL, and then NFL ended up stepping up and, hey, we're going to fine you and taking those type of measures themselves.
Yeah, fine you and take draft picks, all that stuff.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, why is the NBA only doing it? If they took so many precautions and trying to, go ahead and, the safety of your players, your coaching staff, and everyone involved, why are you only now setting these penalizations, putting that in place? Right. Why did it take so long?
Who knows? Just like we asked the question about MLB, why did it take so long for them to propose that 154? And why did it take them so long to propose pushing the season back a month? Who knows? We know they've got a ton of stuff on their plate. They've got so much stuff they have to deal with to try to get a season done. But just simple stuff like that about requiring them to wear masks or else face a fine, penalty, fines, suspensions, or draft picks being taken away from these NBA teams. Well, you're right. Why wasn't it done a lot sooner than February 2nd?
Yeah, should have been. Okay, you didn't do it during the bubble, during that time. Now it's different. You're in a different atmosphere. You're in a different type of environment. You're doing the whole entire process differently. Why not do it from the start of the season? That's just my take on it. I think, yes, you're doing the steps and you're doing what it needs to take to go ahead and put these measures in place and prevent any spreads and contact tracing and whatnot. So, we'll just hopefully that this does take even better effect on the players and it doesn't go into anything more serious as we move through the pandemic, and hopefully we see some type of diminishing the contracting the virus, or even postponement of games, because we've just seen how much the players have been affected by it.
Yes.
So
yes. When you've got teams that are going like weeks on end without playing games, Joanna, you're going like a week or two without games, and you're getting whole homestands canceled, like the Phoenix Suns did just recently when they had a whole homestand canceled after they got back from the nation's capital after they played the Wizards, and then that kind of threw them off schedule as far as wins and losses. But they're starting to right their ship. But 23 games postponed because of this virus, and just the way it's just ravaging the NBA. This is just another way that they're trying to combat this scenario, like you said, and hopefully have a lot less postponements, if any.
Yes. So hopefully that's the case. They're doing the right thing and what is best. So I do commend them for that.
It may not come as fast as we want it to, Joe, as far as their decision making, but it's tough because you're trying to run a $1 billion organization, the NBA, and you've got all these teams underneath, and you're trying to monitor all these teams and players and coaches. It's a lot to take on. It's a daunting task for Adam Silver and everybody at the National Basketball Association. It is what it is at this point.
It is. But you know for who it isn't?
Who?
Diana Taurasi.
The WNBA GOAT? She's the GOAT.
WNBA GOAT, yes. So
yes, she is.
She is now in her 17th season, going into her 17th season. She has signed a
Phoenix Mercury, by the way.
Yes, Phoenix Mercury, thank you. She's going into her 17th season. She signed a 2-year super max deal with the Phoenix Mercury on Monday. So she's just more on fire. And she said that while she was in the bubble, she felt that, she was invigorated. She knew that her career wasn't over. She's 38. By the time that her contract is over, her 2-year contract, she will be 40. So we have just another, great WNBA. She just keeps setting records as well with the WNBA itself. She holds currently the record for most points scored in a WNBA career. I will say that again. She holds the league's record for most points scored in a WNBA career. You know what that is, Ed?
That would be 8,931 points.
Yes. And that passes previous record holder Tina Thompson, and that was back in 2017 season. So she just keeps doing phenomenal things. She's now one of the things that drives her back, and she knows that Phoenix is her home, and Mercury going to the championship, and she wants to bring another championship home. So, and it's just the inclusivity that she has, with the team, and how, they build the team around everyone that's there. So right. they don't, because they don't build it out of somebody who they're bringing in and build it around them. No, they build it as to who is there, and they've been able to do that so wonderfully and successfully. I wish we had, the Phoenix Suns doing, I think they're getting there. Won't go down, too far down that road. They're getting there, and it'll be a moment of time before we can see them somewhere along those lines and possibly be able to bring us championship home. But going back to Diana Taurasi, she's just gonna end her career here. And from what she said, and that's what she ultimately wants to happen.
So she is the Larry Fitzgerald of the WNBA, right? She's been with one team her entire career. just also happens to be in Arizona, just like Fitz, and she wants to end her career in Arizona with that said team, the Phoenix Mercury. She's won 3 championships with them. She's won a league MVP. She's a multi-time All-Star. As you said, the all-time leading scorer in WNBA history. And she's 37, 38 years old?
38.
38. And she probably feels like she's 28, 30 years old, and she's just invigorated. If she feels like she can go 2 more years and hopefully bring the Mercury a 4th or 5th championship, if they should win back-to-back championships, that'd be awesome as well. Awesome. If she won back-to-back titles, that'd be great. What an awesome way for her to retire if she would happen to do that, or at least win 1 more title, bring at least a 4th title to Phoenix and to the Mercury organization. That would be great. But does that not speak volumes in a day and age when at least 4 other high-profile ladies in the WNBA moved teams recently? For Taurasi to say, you know what, I want to stay with Phoenix. We built something really here special, starting from 2004 until now. Why would I give up on this? And I brought this. I helped bring this city and this organization 3 world championships, and I was the league MVP. Why would I want to give this thing up? They went to the bubble, and like you said, she said she was reinvigorated. Let that lady play. Let that young lady play until her body says, "Okay, we're done. That's enough. Let's hang it up."
And here's a couple of facts. I don't know if you know. I'm sure you do, but for our listeners, that one is when I was researching and reading up on this, the Phoenix Mercury gave her the opportunity that if she wanted to pursue or go to another team, that she could. So they were holding her back.
Yeah.
So that only spoke volumes of recognizing, hey, you are phenomenal in what you have accomplished and can still accomplish. But she decided to stay. So that also speaks of Diana Taurasi and where she sees and the relationship that is there between her and the organization.
Yeah, it says a lot about both sides, Joe, that the Mercury believed enough in her and what she's done for them over those 17 years, those 3 championships, and the notoriety and the prominence that she brought the Phoenix Mercury to since she got drafted in 2004. They love that. And why would you deny somebody that's Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do this thing? Why would you deny her if she wanted to move on and go somewhere else? But she's happy here. So luckily for the Phoenix Mercury, she loves it here and she wants to finish her career here. Yes,
and it worked out for everyone involved. Definitely. Yes. And the other thing is the injuries and the surgeries she's had, and she has she had a back problem, and just even more how she went through that. The recovery, was not good, I'm sure, and through the physical therapy she had to go through to just be able to be at that performance level. Seeing her and seeing the Phoenix Mercury in the bubble, how just how they perform, and Diana Taurasi, who she is, and then just how it pretty much, I wouldn't say that it didn't affect her, but she's playing better than she did back then, but just being able to bounce off and come off of those injuries and still come back and sign a super mega 2-year deal at the end of your contract. So not anyone can do that, Ed.
No. And it also helps that she's playing with a lot of young, talented young ladies on her basketball team that invigorate her as well. Like a Brittany Griner and all the other young ladies on that basketball team, that even when she has her bad days, even when she's not well physically and she's got those days where she's like, oh, her body is really kicking her in the what, those young ladies can say, oh, come on, Diana, you're good. You're good. Come on. They're trying to pump her up and get her ready from a mental and physical standpoint. So having young ladies on her basketball team to be her cheering section, her rah-rah section, and her knowing that the organization loves her and backs her 10 million%, that motivates her as well.
Yeah. I can only imagine once she does her basketball career is over and she does decide to move on from basketball, But if she, I don't know if this is something that she's on her mind, she's had or not, and I would love to ask her this. Would she consider coaching? Because I can